Gun Raiders. Gun Raiders does not deviate too far from the beaten path when it comes to first-person multiplayer shooters, but it does the basics nicely. On the surface, this might not sound like all that glowing of a recommendation, but that's not the case as there are not all that many free-to-play FPS VR titles out there. Consequently, Gun Raiders fills a void. Beyond just availability, Gun Raiders controls well, has a few modes to inject some variety, a decent selection of weapons, and a colorful visual style. The game is also receiving frequent updates and patches as it steadily develops into a more complete and satisfying package. For the most part, Gun Raiders has been received well by players, developing a dedicated fanbase in the process. Such a game lives and dies by its community, and for the moment, Gun Raiders is managing to keep people engaged. Gun Raiders supports Oculus Quest, Quest 2, and Oculus Touch. Don't forget to watch the first part of this video, link below video. Propagation VR. For the more horror inclined, or for fans of Until Dawn, Rush of Blood, there is this survival shooter. Unceasingly creepy and dripping with a sinister atmosphere, Propagation VR will have the player standing their ground against an onslaught of terrifying enemies ranging from zombies to mutant monstrosities. Equipped with nothing but a pistol, a shotgun, and their own two fists, the player will have to utilize all the tools at their disposal to survive. Once it gets going, this game is non-stop action that will keep the player on their toes till the credits roll. Many gamers compare this title to a Resident Evil game for its setting and enemy design, which is high praise when speaking of a new horror game. Players can become especially terrified when enemies aren't just on a screen, but all around them. VR is such a great fit for horror, and Propagation is one of the few free projects that demonstrate that fact. Propagation VR is available on Windows Mixed Reality. Cartoon Network Journeys VR. Published by Cartoon Network Games, this free project takes players on a colorful journey to an array of distinct worlds. Unfortunately, these locations are not based on Cartoon Network's existing properties, but each level is still unique, imaginative, and charming. Mainly designed with children in mind, Cartoon Network Journeys VR has rather limited interactivity, so it is unlikely to keep people coming back in the long run. Nevertheless, there are more than enough mini-games and puzzles here to justify a quick session. Like so many free-to-play VR games, this release was not reviewed by critics. In fact, Cartoon Network Journeys VR flew by mostly unnoticed, not even garnering a user score on Metacritic. Still, the game has a good reception on Steam. Cartoon Network Journeys VR is available on Valve Index, HTC Vive, and Oculus Rift. VR Chat. VR Chat has become the premier app for interacting with others over VR, expanding itself even to this day. The limit is the player's imagination, with VR Chat offering a ton of freedom. With endless mod support, the player can take on the appearance of just about any fictional character and explore virtually any landscape. With minigames galore, there is no shortage of things for the player to do. However, the main draw to this game is the community. The game's community is the living personification of the internet itself. Whether or not that is a good or a bad thing, it guarantees entertainment. Since this is more of an experience than a true game, one's enjoyment in VR Chat is heavily dependent on the factors besides those of the minigames. This is a program meant to connect people online in the same way that social simulations like Second Life and similar titles have been doing for years. As such, those looking for gaming are often bored while those looking to simply chat can be enthralled. VR Chat is available for the Oculus Quest. Rock Life, the Rock Simulator. Rock Life, the Rock Simulator is pretty much a joke game as it is an immersive sim about being a rock. Not an anthropomorphic boulder or a stone with googly eyes, no, just a plain old everyday rock. Outside of looking at a rocky companion and swapping the environment, there isn't all that much to do in this free VR game. The player simply sits there and does nothing. As bare bones as this experience is, it is kind of relaxing to assume a life where the only goal is to exist. While obviously not for everyone or most occasions, Rock Life can be therapeutic in the right situation. Unsurprisingly, the game has no reviews on Metacritic, but it has a very positive score on Steam. This rating needs to be taken with a grain of salt since most of the comments seem to be in jest. However, Steam's users usually call out a gag game if it is done poorly. Rock Life, the Rock Simulator is available on HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Valve Index. The Red Stare. This game oozes style. Become a spy in 1950s America on the prowl for secret communist agents. The twist is that this job must be performed from the comfort of a single room. The player must observe their neighbors across the street and through a series of clues, identify which of them is a communist spy. The red stare will be a delight for anyone interested in games of deduction or in this wild period of time. Thanks to it being free, it's only a download away. Initially, fans of Alfred Hitchcock's classic Rear Window, 1954, will immediately see a similarity in regard to the perspective and point of view. Voyeurism can often be seen as sleazy and kind of weird, however, when national defense is on the line, players can rest easy about getting really into this photographic experience to help their country. The red stare is available on HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Valve Index. A shopping trip to Eklan tour. Most free virtual reality games teleport players to unique worlds for quick stays, and they are not meant to keep someone playing for hours on end like non-VR freebies such as Apex Legends. Basically, they offer a brief excursion away from reality, presenting people with a way to visit an alien land without having to leave their homes. A shopping trip to Eklan tour serves as a great example of VR's ability to create short but sweet experiences. Set in the beautiful town of Eklan tour, players must search through this tiny world to find a couple of things. The game should only take someone a few minutes to complete, but its memory will linger on for much longer. Unsurprisingly, this game has no reviews, but it is highly regarded on Steam. Simple and amusing, this title is a delight. A shopping trip to Eklan tour supports HTC Vive and Oculus Rift. Astral Slider. If games like Beat Saber prove anything, it is that some of the best VR games can be summarized in a quick sentence. Designed by Kyle Rogers, Astral Slider is one of those VR titles. The player's goal is simple: maneuver through a cyber-themed road while blasting red boxes and avoiding black ones. The concept is simple and straightforward, translating into a game that anyone can grasp at a glance. Now, a premise means nothing if the execution is not there. Thankfully, Astral Slider also largely delivers the goods in practice, blending intuitive gameplay with eye-catching visuals and a solid soundtrack. At the moment, Astral Slider has not received any critical reviews, however, the game has a mostly positive reception on Steam. In the world of free VR projects, this title is a relatively small release, so it has garnered too much attention since its March 2022 debut. Astral Slider is compatible with the Oculus Quest. The game can also be played without VR. Google Spotlight Stories, Pearl. Google Spotlight Stories is an initiative designed to showcase the potential of VR to open new avenues for storytelling. The service has produced its share of successful pieces, and Pearl is right up there with the best of them. The story follows a father and daughter as they travel across the country in their car. The short is moving, sweet, and powerful. Now, it should be said that Pearl is essentially a movie and not a game or an interactive experience. Through their headsets, people accompanying these characters along their journey as flies on the wall. Pearl has not received any official critical reviews, but the VR experience has a very positive reception on Steam. Shorter than 10 minutes, Pearl is a quick sit that makes the most of its runtime. Google Spotlight Stories, Pearl requires a Valve Index, HTC Vive, or Oculus Rift. Surgeon Simulator VR, Meet the Medic. Surgeon Simulator is a charmingly grim game, and Meet the Medic takes things to the next level. While nothing more than a demo for the HTC Vive, Surgeon Simulator VR, Meet the Medic offers a lighthearted and fun way to spend a few minutes, particularly for fans of Team Fortress 2. Most free VR games are designed to showcase the technology's potential, which is exactly what this demo accomplishes. It might not be something people will endlessly revisit, but Meet the Medic is good for a laugh. Surgeon Simulator VR, Meet the Medic does not have a Metacritic score, but it has been well received by the Steam community. While the content is silly, the game's controls are intuitive, making this small title worth a download. Surgeon Simulator VR is available for the Valve Index and HTC Vive. Are One Prologue. Scheduled to debut in the fall of 2022, Are One is a puzzle game that centers around a time manipulation mechanic. Instead of teaming up with other people, players create clones of themselves and then use a time loop to get past scenarios. Are One has a fascinating central concept, albeit one that is a bit difficult to fully comprehend without directly experiencing the game. Thankfully, VR owners can do just that, as Flathead Studio OG has released Are One Prologue for free. Including a few levels from the main game, this prologue is basically a proof of concept, and it is likely to get people excited about the full release. As this is essentially a demo, Are One Prologue reviews are non-existent at the moment. That said, the game seems to be going down well with players. Are One Prologue supports the Valve Index and Oculus Rift. Wolfenstein 3D VR. It's all that Wolfenstein goodness in a VR package developed by a fan. What the player will quickly realize when experiencing this game is why exactly it became the known classic it is today. storm through Castle Wolfenstein and take on the Nazi forces guarding it. Every level of the original game is lovingly recreated in VR for the player to enjoy. Another thing to note is that this game can be found on itch.io, an online repository for indie games, and a surprising source of great VR titles. Those who can get a nostalgia boost from this title will be sure to love this VR version of the classic Wolfenstein game. However, so will new players. Many enjoy the fluid controls and the fast pace, which are enhanced by VR-only capabilities, such as being able to snap turn for greater mobility. Wolfenstein 3D VR is available on HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. Google Earth VR. Bringing things back down to earth a bit, literally, is Google Earth VR, which is exactly what it says, and provides you with the unique opportunity to explore the entire world in VR. Some places are better rendered than others, as expected, but if you've ever wanted to experience some of the world's biggest cities in good detail, then you definitely can. What's more, you can also scale yourself to the surroundings, so if you want to be tiny or big, then the game provides you with the choice. There's even the ability to fly, so you too can become a superhero flying around realistically rendered cities. While many can claim this is more of a standalone miscellaneous feature than an actual game, players still seem to be having a lot of fun with it. Those indulging in a virtual reality geographical adventure are the same people who look for funny and crazy sights on Google Maps, though with the increased enjoyment of being immersed in the setting as opposed to simply viewing it from a screen. Google Earth VR is available on the Oculus Rift and HTC Vive. Don't forget to watch the first part of this video, link below video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe on my channel. And write in comments what is your favorite VR games.